Pay attention. You're not going to want to miss this. Cue the music, Buble. Oh, that's right. I'm the only one here.
It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
Hey everyone. Today I'm going to show you the @ function. The greatest Notion feature that you can ever use, and nobody else knows about it. I believe I am the first person to discover this. I have looked all over Google, Reddit, and YouTube, and nobody's talking about this. And even their own AI doesn't know from any official documentation if this is possible. And let me show you a little chat log about that. So I asked the AI just a few days ago, could you use the @ function to pull properties from mentioned pages and not just the trigger page / this page? And here you see that it does not know from the official documentation. I had to reword the question because I tried to use my own workspace to find the answer in my first prompt. But I had to rewrite it to ask, do not use my workspace. Give me some documentation. And it does not have any documentation confirming that the @ sign can do this. Now, I don't know if I'm truly the first person to discover this. I don't know if Notion knows about it or not. But as far as I know, I am the first person. So now I'm going to show you just some surface level kind of stuff of what you can use with the @ function. So I discovered this about 3 months ago on accident, and it has completely transformed how I run my Notion workspace. So before this discovery, I had very complex workflows, but now with the @ function capabilities, I have completely transformed those complex work forms into what is now essentially little apps with inside Notion. And today I'm going to show you just some surface level examples on my homepage, and this has nowhere near as close to the complexity of what I can demonstrate later on in my other videos. Okay. So for our first example that we're going to go through is going to be for my daily journal. Now every morning, 5-6 o'clock in the morning, an automation is going to kick off that creates a new journal entry. And this button here is going to always take me to that current entry. Two key components you're going to need to make this work are going to be the same two key components that you're going to need for all the workflows that we discuss and that have built my workspace. So the first one being the @ function, which is going to obviously allow you to mention the page and access the properties. And the second thing is what I call data aggregators. Now, these data aggregators could also be called horizontal databases. Basically, something that has many more columns with not that many rows. And they're going to act as intermediate data holders. So instead of you're going to go directly from A to C, you need to go to A to B first and then B to C. So that B step is going to be our data aggregator. I have multiple data aggregator databases. And in each page inside of these databases handles a different function in my workspace. So for instance, there's a page that's going to handle the opening and storing of my daily journals. So the thing is that you can't just have there's no filtering criteria for opening a page. There's no way to have something based on, oh, this page has a checkbox and none of the other pages have checkboxes, to open that page. There's no filtering for that to open a page. So the only way that you can open a very specific page each and every day without, changing the formula of your buttons, right, is to have a location that is constant. So what that means is that this data aggregator page is going to be where the page is also linked through a relation to the journal database. So every day it makes a new journal, is going to link that new journal in that relation of that data aggregator page so that I can access that. So I'm going to go and show you that I can click on the daily journal button and it's going to take me to my journal of today. I have a second button here, duplication, that I want to show you so we can learn how to build this. Now this is going to be the easiest step that we can do for all the other workflows that we're going to see. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to define a variable. All right. Now you have to use the at function at this stage. Once you convert it into a formula, you no longer have access to the mention function. So we're going to say the at. That's not the at. That's the at. We're going to do daily journal. Oh my goodness. Daily journals, right? Okay, and we're going to see that there is a page inside this data aggregator journal section that's called daily journals. So we have now mentioned the page we want. We're going to now convert it into a journal. Okay, and all you need to do is remove the string. So if you delete the string, it's converted into a block. And then you can see right away that you have access to the properties. So we're going to say the dot notation and we're going to say daily journal. All right? And then from there, we can now use the open function, open action, and open up that journal. And just like that, you can open up your daily journal. So now we're going to go back to the kitchen and we're going to show a few more examples. So that one is the simplest out of all the stuff we're going to show. It's definitely going to get more complex, and even that, all of this is still just the surface level of what there is to see. For my second example, I want to show you that you can choose which database to add a page to. So I have 3 databases linked here. I have my ideas database, my notes database, my libraries database. The only thing that's important right now is the ideas database. And I recently just made this as of 2 days ago because I got tired of just having my ideas like all grouped together in one ideas like page inside my notes, because it just didn't give me the flexibility I wanted, right? If I wrote one sentence and I wanted to build upon it, I would have to, do toggles to format it, to just, to add things. It was just aggravating. So I've decided to take all my notes for the, idea notes and put them into its own database. So that way I can have a little bit more structure, but also there's so much more to it that we're going to get into. So first, I'm going to show you that you can just add a page specifically to what database you decide. So you can see I have 3 choices here. I have an ideas database, a notes database, and a libraries database. And we're going to say I want to add a page to the ideas database. And you're going to see it pop up any second. Right about now. There you go. New page. And just to show you that it's not being added to everything else, you can see that there is nothing new here. And I will show you if I add a notes to this notes database, it will add it to the notes database, new page, right here, going to show up. And yep, there you go. And you can see that there is no other added page to the ideas data page. So it is able to determine, based on your select, where to send the new page being added. And this is an example of needing that intermediate step of a data aggregator, because you can't just use the standard add page button action because you don't know which database a user is going to choose. There's no if statement inside button actions when it comes to like adding a page. So you have to send this information over to a data aggregator so that it can determine what is being done so that it can trigger the correct automations based on your selection. So that way you can get a new page without affecting the other two options that were available. Now for the third example, we're going to go even further into this ideas page. And what that's going to do is that it's going to allow us to show you how we're going to convert an idea into some other action, right? So eventually your ideas need to become tasks, projects, content, whatever you're working on, right? And of course, you could just simply, take your idea text that you have in your notes and you just copy and paste it over to a task, create a task, copy over everything or whatever. But, like if you're going to be serious about creating an idea and you're going to have way more information than just the title, right? You would have some kind of description maybe that you built upon it. You have some potential tags of what it's about or whatever helps you organize your mind and your stuff. So there's just no point to keep this as a run-on page of just full different ideas when we can create again a structure by having each page for each idea, but then also a easy, convenient way to send all the relevant properties that you want to wherever you want it to go. So for instance, we can say that this is a new idea. All right. And in this case right now, I am going to send it to task. And I'm just going to say, hello, this idea is cool. Okay? So right now, the button is only going to focus on the title and the description. All right? But we can add everything we want. But right now, it's going to do, I only have it set up to be title and description. And I also have it set up to be triggered for date of. So, so many other things we can go through. But right now, we're going to just show a conversion of this idea into a task with today's date, right? So we're going to convert that. We're going to go back, and you're going to see a new idea pop up. This was an old example. We're going to get rid of that. You didn't see that. Okay? So you're going to see that this new idea has now been converted to a task. It has the date, and it has the description. Right? And then it can have whatever else you want, all in one-click conversion. So for the fourth example, we're now going to go up here to what is the multi-task creation. All right, so now instead of saying one page for multiple choices of databases, we're now going to show you that we can create multiple pages into the same database. So when we want to create more than one task, we can now just say, 2, 3, 6. I have up to 6. Can't go past 6. I mean, you can, but I haven't programmed it that way. And you can configure as many numbers as you want, though. Okay? And what's also really cool about this functions here is that it has a smart page opening. And what that means is that if I say want to make just one task, I can say create the task, and it's going to open up obviously the new page just created. Okay? So you can make just one page, but if you wanted to make more than one page, you have two choices. You could either still open it up as that one page only and the other 5 would just be created in the background, or you can have it take you to a new page, which is going to allow you to see all 6 or all amount of the new tasks that you created. So that's what I prefer. So what I do is that when you create a new task, 6 new tasks, it's going to take you now to this page. And what you're going to see is that it's going to create all the tasks. So you had the first one, there's the second one, the third one, the fourth one, and the fifth, and eventually there it is, the 6th one. All right, and these are all, of course, different pages. You can see that if I do, you know, da da da, right, bum bum bum. Okay, you can see that these are all different pages. All right, so you can, you know, fill out. You can have this static as far as what all the properties you want to see here. Okay, you can make your life a little bit easier if you just want to have one table with all 6 of the pages here. It is a little bit easier from like a formula point of view. But I prefer having the separation of everything, and I like it because I can also change the properties here, so I can just, you know, it's just much more easier to focus on, you know, whatever properties I want to see that's, you know, specifically related to this particular task or whatever it may be. So we're going to go back to the main page, and you're going to see it has all 6 pages now. And for our 5th example, doesn't have anything to do with the at functions and stuff like that, but I still think it's really cool. I think people would like it, so I'm going to just quickly show you to you real fast. All right, we're going to get rid of just most of these right now, okay? And basically, what I wanted to show you is the time blocking feature. We're going to pretend like we don't see that, okay? So when you first create a page, and I'm still experimenting with my time blocking, is a new thing for me. Like usually, I would just have like a plain list here of just ever-growing amount of tasks that I quote-unquote I'm going to say I'm going to do my day. But now I'm trying to get a bit better at doing time blocking. So what we're going to do for time blocking is that, of course, you can just click here, and once it adds a date property or a time property, it's going to move down. So for here, when it has only the starting date, it'll be an all-day property. If it has any kind of time, it'll move here. All right, and then you can just change it like so and like so. Okay. Now, what's really cool though is how easy it is to do in the Notion calendar. Assuming the Notion calendar is gonna, there it goes. So in my Notion calendar, I can also drag and drop and manipulate the time. And this is much, much, much easier than trying to deal with it inside of Notion. And you can see that it's pretty much instantaneously updated. But this is a much better way when I actually want to start time blocking my task out. I just put everything here in the all day section and then just space it out through this. And then of course you can edit it here. I'll edit it in the calendar, etc., etc. And for our 6th example, which does require the at function, is going to be for bulk data manipulation, and in this case, date modification. All right. So in my date modification, I can move the time, I can move the date, I can clear the time, or I can just clear the full date. Right. And I understand you might be wondering, well, why can't you just go click, click, click like this, and, you know, over here and this and whatever? Well, because first of all, this sucks, Tiffany. Second reason why is because you can't just do this click selection inside mobile. And now you might be thinking, who the hell is using Notion on mobile? Well, I understand a lot of people complain about the Notion mobile, but that's just because no one's designed it to be mobile friendly. That's including the Notion team themselves. But nonetheless, this is what it looks like on mobile. So right here I have a view of my mobile phone, and everything in my workspace is mobile friendly. So, for instance, if I wanted to manipulate the date of clearing the time, so for said this one or this one, I can select it and then clear the time. Apply clear time. And that's going to modify it, and it's going to delete the end date and the beginning time date. So, and there you go. All right. So, and this function works for either by, if you don't click anything, it will apply to all the tasks. So all the tasks within this daily view, if you don't specifically do a selection, all right, it will apply to all 5 of these. Otherwise, if you select, oops, don't click on it. If you select right like this, then you can tell it which of the pages you want to do these modifications to. And again, either clear the time or the full date, or you can move the date, which you can move it by number in terms of you want to move it by 1 day, 2 day, whatever. So if I say move it by 1 day, you'll see it moves tomorrow. If I can say the same thing, if I say 21 days, January, or you can just override the date completely and say that. All right. So, and then you can just clear everything. And now for our final example of today's video, I'm going to show you that you can add any property that you want to the page itself. Now, one thing I want to make real quick clear is that I think this is a useless feature. And I say it's useless because I've seen a lot of people ask for the ability to append property values into their page content. And so yes, it is possible. I'm going to show you that. But honestly, it's just not worth it. Everything I've shown you here now is 99.9% native to Notion. And yet this feature requires an integration with a sync engine like Make.com. And honestly, if you're going to pay for Notion Plus, which you would need a minimum of to do the automations, and a Make.com subscription, you're just so much better, unbelievably better, to buy a Notion business plan. And why the Notion business plan wins is because, honestly, the Notion AI has completely blown me away in the last 2 weeks. When it first launched in August, I hated it. Completely thought it was trash. No effort, no, nothing. Terrible. But over the last recent months, I've been using it little by little, slightly getting more impressed with everything that was going on. But the last 2 weeks, I've really started to use it. I was getting closer and closer to my deadline. I started to push to start using it for as much as I possibly could. And it is unbelievable how powerful it has become. And I'm definitely not sponsored in any kind of way to give you my honest opinion about that, because this is my first video. I don't even have 1 subscriber yet, so I ain't definitely not being paid for my comments. But I'm telling you, do not walk, run. If you are going to use Notion as your choice platform for all the things you want to do, it is absolutely worth getting the Notion business plan. It is truly incredible. Now, don't get me wrong, the bot can also be really stupid sometimes. I can ask it the simplest question of trying to do something and it doesn't understand it. But for the most part, it runs beautifully. And when it runs beautifully, it is unbelievable how much content that you can see yourself getting out of it. It's just truly incredible. And the biggest example that I have to talk about is in the last just about 2-3 days ago, the ideas database that I created. I wanted to create it earlier in the day, didn't get around to it. I was on one of my walks and I just decided, hey, let me see if I can just create that database real quick. Let me just get it done with. Let me just get it, create it, make it exist, just to be done with it. So on my walk, I asked the AI, I said, hey, within about 2 paragraphs, about 30 minutes, 2 paragraphs, 5 responses back and forth with each other, it created my 3 databases that I wanted. Each database had, 10, 15, properties, all connected through the relations that I told it I wanted, etc. And, it's nothing super impressive. It's still a basic level database. But still, I was just doing it while on my walk, while texting or voice to chat, all just chatting with the AI, and I was able to create something that still would have just taken me an hour just by the default principles of, typing and click and, all these little basic things that you would have to do to create a database and and 3 databases with, 30 properties at least between the 3 of them. It's just like, it's unbelievable. I think Notion truly is a revolutionary product. So, with that being said, I will show you that you can create a button through make.com integration, and it's going to pull the label from this project, and it's going to send it to this page. So if I didn't have the send to page feature here, it would just append the text to the project that it's on, or whatever page that you're calling from. But I also can send it to any page I want. You can literally just at a page right here, and the label or whatever property you're calling for is going to be added here. So if I click it, you'll see that the word system will pop up, such like that. And you can also use it to create pages and databases. You can just hit add a page, and it will take the page title will become the property value here. So you can see it created a systems page. Now again, I think this is worthless because the AI can easily do the exact same thing. I can literally just text the AI and say, hey, I want XYZ property from XYZ page to be added in my page content here. And it can do it so much easier than the time it took to create the integration and the make scenario and all that. Now I'll give you the make scenario. You can have fun with it. I only took it to these 2 properties right here. You can have your property list as long as you want. Right now it is hard coded, like specifically for these 2 properties. I know you can definitely make it more flexible and more, acceptable to variables, but it's just not worth it, right? If you're going to pay for both of those plans, buy the Notion business plan. It is superior in every way possible. So what I've shown you here is just truly surface level system compared to my much more complex workflows I have throughout my workspace. I honestly haven't found any limitations yet. I still have a lot in my backlog to explore, but so far I figured out almost every single thing I could possibly want. I think Notion is a revolutionary product. I think what you can do is nearly infinite, and the futures is just limitless. So thanks for watching. I hope to be making some more deep dive videos on my more complex videos soon. This is a first for me. Hopefully I didn't struggle too hard in recording this, and have a good night.